Beauty and the Beat. This is Cerise Styles, and I got my main man here, Mr. Anthony Cherry.
Anthony Cherry in the building.
And that splash of cherry today.
It's very necessary.
Okay, we did.
You have to say it right. It's a splash of cherry. It's very necessary.
A splash of cherry, because it's very necessary. Hello, hello. Welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming all week. We did LA Fashion Week, and it's like totally making a comeback this year. So.
Yeah, like LA shut it down. Watch out, New York.
So how did you like it? How did you like your first?
My first Fashion Week. This was the very first year I ever went to Fashion Week because I think it was great because I normally only go to things sometimes that matter and make sense. So I think this year it made sense. That's my commentary on it.
Okay, it made sense. So what did you think of? We got some shows. What did you think of some of the shows and the designers?
Well, the show that we went to with the kids, I thought that was pretty dope. I forgot the name.
Okay, Little Jules Boutique. Hey.
But it was pretty cool to see kids, represent fashion, and everybody not overlooking children because they are the future.
Right.
And the lines, and I think that some of the designers, how they came out with the headpieces with the feathers and stuff with the crowns, I thought that was pretty dope. And some of the outfits was dope.
Okay. I liked all that as well. I mean, we got to meet a lot of the personalities. We got to see some of the people behind the scenes that were doing stuff. And I'm going to start with what? A clip of a little bit of our wrap up. We're going to go right in. Do we want to go right into that?
Let's go right into it.
We could go right into it because we want to see what we did. We want to see what Art Hearts Fashion, because the week before that, just in case, friend of the show, Eric Rossetti from Art Hearts Fashion, he came in and we talked about what was going to be. Now we're talking about what was, and we were there.
Yeah,
we caught it live and direct. So LA Fashion Week, Art Hearts Fashion at the Taglion Complex. Let's get into it.
Let's go.
Reporting live from Art Hard Live.
LA Fashion Week. This is the FHI. Look, what's going on with this look? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Absolutely. It's our textured iron that we have currently that we just released. Okay. And what we're doing now is just giving her some coil curls because we're going to give her some volume.
Okay.
So within the volume, it's going to allow her to have the hairpiece on. That way it'll have more texture and have just a really nice heavy piece on top.
Right. So how long will something like this last? Because I would love this.
This will last, I would say, about a week.
Hi, I'm Evelyn Graciano. So what we're doing with her is we're doing a smoky wing line, and then with a contour and highlight, and then a nude lip.
Okay, excellent. And who are you modeling for today?
Serena. We're doing a lot of braids and like crowns, like braided crowns and stuff, and mohawk.
This is one of the sponsors of the Art Hearts Fashion. It's called their Cadillac Concierge Service. So what they do now is instead of you going to the car, they bring the car to you. They bring it, you test drive. They bring it to you. You test drive it for a couple of days, and if you like it, you get to keep it. You pay for it, or you don't even have to go deal with the car dealers. What do you think about that?
Well, I actually think that's dope. Everything is becoming very, very, very convenient for you. I actually love Cadillac. I was raised on Cadillac back in the day, so and then being in the inside of it, it feels very, very sleek, very beautiful. And then once again, we have black.
It's black on black on black on black.
Hey, and I'm Anthony Cherry, and thank you for inviting me out and doing this amazing day for us fashion. This is my first time I'm embracing Fashion Week because I'm always a hairstylist, so I do love fashion, but to actually be in the midst of Fashion Week, which I think is growing because New York's Fashion Week will be shutting it down and killing it, so we have a chance now in LA to be able to have our Fashion Week just as hot and popping.
That was JoJo and Colony Boys performing, who were part of the VH1s. What is your favorite part about doing, like, say, hair, working with artists? Like when you're doing stuff live on the set. What's your favorite part about that?
My favorite part is actually the start and the finish.
Oh, okay.
Because, I can take it from damn to glam real quick.
Okay. So when they walk in like, damn, you're looking at them, is that a conversation that you're having with your client?
Well, it's per situation, depending on what it is.
Okay.
Most of the time, you're already ahead of the game. You know what you're getting into. But then living in Hollywood, sometimes you just get thrown
on
into
the spot.
It.
Okay.
Yeah, you just got to make it do what it do.
So the beginning and the end. So they walk in like damn, and then they come out like
glam.
Glam.
Yeah. For the most part, with me anyway.
Exactly. So what is it about? Say I like when you're totally changing someone's personality. How do you feel like you could, when you're having a really quick time limit, and you're talking about, say, on a fashion, say you're on a fashion show, and you have 20 minutes to do hair, and they come in with a ponytail, but you gotta, what is the process like when you're thinking then? What are you thinking about?
It's just like first nature to me.
Okay.
It's like get in there and execute with
Okay.
imminent success.
Okay.
There is no excuses.
Okay.
You have to make it happen.
Okay. Okay. I like that. So we were talking about like hair tips. Did they get into what makeup on there? I'm thinking, did we see a lot of, do you like makeup looks? Do you have to correspond with your makeup when you're doing hair?
It has to. You have to tell a story when you're doing anything.
Okay.
You know, especially with when it comes to runway and fashion shows, it's definitely everything should be the same consistency, the same hairstyle. It's not gonna look the same on every girl, but you'll get it when you see it constantly come back and back and back. And most of the time, they cast people appropriately for the hair types and body types, so they can have a whole story and symmetry with everything that goes along with it.
Okay. Well, let's get back into some more. I guess we're going to get into some of the designers we got to talk to backstage. So let's see what we got going on. Just same video, just press play. So, we're going to have a little minute for to get the replay going. But
Cool. But I went to another fashion show.
what did you do the rest of the week?
I went to Columbus Square. Right.
Oh yeah, I haven't been there yet. So what was that like? What was the old style?
Columbus Square is beautiful, first of all.
It's new.
I think they were sponsored by Bentley. And it was really nice, and I saw Dina Burton's line. I was definitely inspired. That's why I have on our white now. She brought me back to my white moment.
And she's an LA-based designer.
Yeah, she's banging. Like, everything she had was something that's wearable, because most time at fashion shows, you don't really see anything that you can really wear.
So what was your favorite part about her? The fact that it was wearable?
The fact that it was wearable. And she was she kind of said she was the first one, like, black designers, you know, that was represented. And I think that kudos to Dina Burton. Once again, shouts out to you for your amazing line. You know, I thought that was very innovative as well.
Okay, I missed that. I'm glad that you got to check that out. We should have got a little behind the scenes. I also got to go to Pacific Design Center, and that was called Style Week, and they had a lot of interesting design. I got to see I Am Zoe. They had a lot of hair that was like really updos and fancy. It was done with over the water. So it means
it sounds nice.
Yeah, so when the lights came down, it was just like, oh, okay.
Then I heard after we left, the first one we did with
JoJo.
You were JoJo. I heard that it was like really turned up.
Yeah,
it was cracking and slamming and jamming.
Okay,
I think we kind of boarded the mission kind of early.
We did, because at 6 o'clock a new show came on, a whole new setup.
Yeah.
It was a whole. We were at the children's line.
Yes.
And then later on they got
See,
Hazel.
we should have been there for the adult line.
Right.
Because of my client Michelle Epps, I told her we were there. She ended up was en route when we were leaving. And she ended up coming, and she stayed. And she said she had a blast. She said she didn't want to go anywhere else that night.
Oh wow.
I met her with her later on that night, and she was like, "Hey, that was a spot. Thank you for inviting me."
You welcome. I did see that they came. A lot of other people showed up. So it was about, overall for that week, it was about 100+ designers that got to showcase their line.
And I think that's dope, because it's very often, you know, frustration causes expression. You know, and when you're a creative being and you get a chance to do something, most of the time you put your heart and soul in it.
And you want people to see it.
Yeah, and you want to be respected for what you do, and that's just like getting that out of your system to be able to showcase what you've been birthing. You know, that's like dope. It's like a brand new baby coming into the world, and everybody wants to show their new baby off.
Okay, or they want to wait, like get the people exclusive. So they got the Fashion Week exclusive.
Yes.
I got you. Can we get into the other half of these designers and see what they had going on, what they were talking about?
Yeah, let's see.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you did for her hair for the show?
Definitely. I just used a lot of the FHI products. I used their curling irons, their 1/4 curling iron. I tonged the hair, and we did the red carpet look. And when we went backstage, we switched her look. I ended up just teasing up the hair and kind of giving it that little 50s look, which was perfect. She loved it. It was a great experience to work with her, and I was just delighted to be a part of the team.
You caught our attention. You're definitely giving it. Where did your inspiration come today from the hairstyle that you're wearing?
Queen Bee.
Okay, Queen Bee. So you're saying Beyonce or Little Kim?
Beyonce.
Okay, because you know, because Little Kim was the original Queen Bee.
I know. But now the real Queen Bee is Beyonce. So. Yeah.
So where did your look come from? Who inspired you?
Well, I like the jewelry and the hair from Beyonce, but everything. I'm the designer of the show.
Oh, cool.
Little Jules. Oh, really? Awesome. Awesome. Well, it's a pleasure getting interviewed by you guys. I want you guys to also for the show. Incredible pieces. She's amazing. She did everything with it.
There are kind of all the little fantasy inspired, and it's just a couture line of just really sweet, very ethereal little crowns and different Indian feather headdresses, and just inspiration from a lot of different places.
Cool. I like the wording too. So when she said ethereal, but in the feathers, it reminded me of the dress that we just saw.
Yes.
On Leanne, was it Leanne?
Yes.
That's feathers. Yeah. I love it. So you were inspired by her line, and we're gonna see it put together.
Hi everyone, this is Jessie Liu. I'm a San Francisco-based women's wear designer. I'm showcase my newest fall-winter collections, which is inspired by Japanese innovative pattern cutting skills, and there are lots of involving the darts transfer into different seams and into curved seams to give the silhouette meanwhile, and also deliver the graphic designs. So the fall winter collection, the main fabrics are leather and the wools, and also there's cottons and
you make a lot of your fabric design patterns. So this is all original patterns that you make, that you put on your fabrics, correct?
Yes, so my line is all the graphic design, the artwork I designed myself. So it's no repeated in the market, so it's exclusivity of my lines. And I like to do the prints on silk. So my previous spring-summer collection, majority fabric are silks, like silk chiffon, silk satin, and then they are it's all my own artwork printed on there.
Excellent. And I love all these patterns and stuff.
Thank you. My name is Josh Christensen, and I just showed this evening. Thank you so much. And it was a really fun men's concept collection that I actually ended up throwing some women's stuff into. It grew really quickly, and it was really, really fun to do, sort of a spring fantasy, and I think the show went great, so I was really happy.
It's really nice, the patterns and the things. Where else have you shown? Because LA Fashion Week is kind of making a comeback. How did you feel about being aligned with Art Hearts Fashion?
Art Heart Fashion has always done really, really great things, and this is actually the first time that I agreed to show in LA. I'm based here in LA, but I usually just do my own parties. So this was a really great opportunity. I love the people that work this event, and I've been to these events previously, and they invited me to do it, and I said sure.
Tell us a little bit about your jewelry line.
Yeah, hi, my name is Jerry Zarnicki. My company is Jay-Z Bling, and I'm what's known as an extreme jeweler. As you can kind of see here, all this jewelry is pretty big. A little bit crazy, but that's everything that I make is really big. Make it for lots of celebrities and a lot of people around the world, and also have a lot of fun. Come to a lot of the fashion shows, design a lot of products. So
tell us a little bit about why you're here today.
Well, I'm Keith.
And introduce yourself.
I figured you'd probably say that. I'm Keith Cameron. I attend a lot of the shows. I was over in Milan and Budapest and London and for the shows there, and LA it's one of the markets where I wish more people would come out and support this, because it's the third in the markets they consider, but it's just Eric Rose. He's done such a brilliant job of bringing it back. I don't know if you were involved when it was at Smashbox and and Mercedes sponsored it, but to be able to put this presentation together and do it on such a minimal budget, to say, it's great, and I don't mind attending. I fly around. I'm in New York, and I started out years ago. I was, as an actor on the show Family Matters with Urkel, and I played Todd Helms on the show, and CSI, and Dr. Quinn, and I got behind the camera, and I've been blessed to be able to have a couple careers in this biz. But fashion has taken me around the world, and we just finished working on the new U.S. Polo and Ralph Lauren campaigns.
Hey, my name is Oscar Rivera. I'm here today to celebrate fashion. We're also doing the grand opening tonight for Leo Jewels Boutique. She's my client, and she's from Armenia. She's an incredible fashion designer. She's been working with kids since, almost 17 years. And she has a boutique in Glendale, and we have the honor to be showcasing her spring and summer collection 2016.
Okay, so go ahead. ahead.
Okay, so we're going to talk about a little bit of fashion. What inspired your look today? Because you're pretty razor sharp today.
Well, you know, I do have executive tailor. I work with Greg Chapman. Greg Chapman is right here in South Robertson in Beverly Hills. I've been working with Greg for the last 4.5 years. You know, he's the one who does all my suits. Accessories, they have a guy in Washington, D.C., I have a guy in Alabama, and they said, dude, we love your style, we would love to support you. I do lapel pins, handkerchief, and I said, I would love for you to wear my stuff. And, you know, it's all about helping each other at the same time when you're putting yourself on the spotlight, but you helping to brand other people, man.
So
you know.
You brand other people as well as this brand as well? Is that what your job is?
Well, you know, I own a production company. That's my background. I produce events, but I also do PR for fashion designers, plastic surgeons, full service salon. Everything that it has to do with fashion beauty has to do with me.
So you're pretty much a lifestyle guy.
You know what? They said you're like an entrepreneur, and I said, look, if when God gave you the talent and you have the connections, you know who you are and you know your value, then you can do everything you want.
And I like that.
Oh, hey, and we went out like that.
Yeah, that was a nice little segment.
You like that?
Yeah, I did. I was definitely inspired. I saw a lot of blings and things and rings.
Blings and things. And what do you think about that? We had Jay-Z, Jerry Zanarki, who says he's the original Jay-Z. Let him tell it. I was like, okay, I guess you got it by age.
Yeah.
You know? So, okay, cool. What do you think about that extreme jewelry?
I mean, I like it. I think rappers would definitely like it. I don't know anybody who's conservative that would actually wear that. And then even for rappers, I mean, that would be putting your life in straight up danger. That's a lot of jewelry.
When you think of that, because I know jewelers that would be offended and be like, that's not real jewels. Those are costume jewelry. So do you feel like, how do you feel about rappers wearing costume jewelry? Because in the age of that Versace stuff. Like,
I just feel like if you could pass it off, you
Right.
do you at the end of the day.
Right.
You know, I'm not really into, I mean, all at the end of the day, what's really real? You know, who puts value on what?
Right.
You know, so that doesn't really matter to me.
It's a look that we're going for anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, hey, 2 snaps up in a circle. So how do we feel? We saw Joshua Christensen. He's a another LA-based designer.
I'm inspired by him.
He's a Project Runway winner.
Yeah.
So he had like a lot of colors and patterns. What are your go-to looks for getting on the red carpet? Because you're on the red carpet quite frequently, whether it's with the client or yourself.
But you know what? It depends on the moment. You know, I'm like a chameleon and I change daily. Some days I might want to go like today. I'm kind of more like street urban, you know, with my white on. And then you saw me on the red carpet. I was kind of like posh, modern.
Right. Okay.
You know, and the first day you met me in Beverly Hills, I was kind of like baseball cap. So for me, it depends on the event. You know, but then I do like to set trends. I really like to be like kind of polished, but I love sex appeal. Right. So one day you might see me with a shirt that's busted wide open. You know, then sometimes you might see me with a tie. Right. You know, so I try to keep it cute for the most part.
He said busted wide open. I was like, what? Nah, just kidding. But yeah, so we, like you said, you like to stay on trend, but be innovative, keep it sexy, keep it fresh. That's your look.
Yes.
But when we looked on the red carpet, we saw Mr. Hollywood, and he had the razor sharp from head to toe, the lapels. What do you think is on trend for just men that are on the red carpet, the people that we see on the red carpet, like, say, is there something that's a trend that sticks out for men with you?
He should be the trend.
He should. He's setting a trend
because
with that polish.
that was like he's killing every actor that I've seen on the red carpet, a rapper. You know, one thing I would say, most of the people that really shut it down on red carpets are the sports players, like the basketball players. They always come suited and booted. They represent the dream of Martin Luther King. They keep that alive for us with a little bit of class. Class goes a long way. Ratchet only goes so far.
Thank you for saying that, because I know that you have, like, your input with a lot of your clients is hair, but I know that sometimes you have to hold back because you're like, that outfit, but I mean, what do you say?
I want to say that I am a visionary person. So I see everything from the infinite part of it. So it's just not by working in glam, you see it all. It's about the overall look. Okay. So for me, I mean, I'm into fashion. You know, I love doing hair, like makeup. I know it because I work so much on different projects, and I just know the overall look, what it should look like. Right. I worked on every single thing you can imagine, from TV to movies to
give us a little bit about your red. Do you want to name drop a little? What are some of the shows and clients that you've worked with?
Well, I always say when people ask me who have you worked with, who haven't I worked worked with.
Oh.
That would be my answer. Some of the people that I've worked with that I love to have worked with, I would definitely say would be Jill Scott.
Okay, is that one of your favorites?
My favorite.
I love
She's
her
so
voice.
down to earth and so real and just so genuine and organic. And then we have people like most currently K. Michelle. Like she's innovative. I love her story. She was deemed most voted not likely to succeed, and she exceeded everyone's expectations. And she's banging now. Got 4 shows on television. Got to open up her arm.
She has 4 shows I've seen.
Yes, she has
2.
4 shows on TV on VH1.
What 4 shows?
Check them out. Google quick K. Michelle. And you'll be able to get into it. And then also working with Keisha Knight Pulliam. She gave me a chance to work on the side with Tyler Perry. You know what I've always wanted to say? When I met Tyler Perry, I worked on a press junket for Madea Goes to Jail.
Oh.
And for the whole entire week, he would just always stare at me, It'd be awkward silence on elevators.
Tyler Perry?
Tyler Perry,
Okay.
yes. And then one day, the last day at the after party in New York, I was sitting and talking to some people. He walked up to me like, you know why I just keep staring at you this whole time? I'm like, why? And I smiled with a smile on my face. He said, you just remind me of somebody that I don't like. That's how I was. Like, what do you say that after that? After Tyler Perry's, I'm like, okay, but moving forward.
Okay.
Other people that I feel like have worked with that I loved, enjoy working with as well was Mona Scott Young. Mona Scott Young was the first person who ever took me out of the country. That's how I got the title from the People Celebrity Hairstylist Anthony Cherry, because after that I started working with Missy Elliott.
Okay.
And then also Danielle Crawley, who's now on the hit TV show All About the Business.
Yes.
That's one of my favorites, and Laura Govan.
Okay.
As well. Hey, Claudia Jordan. I had a chance to work with Angela Bassett. That was amazing. You know, working with Mary a couple of times. That was super dope because they were like that down home feel, but still classy. I'm very relatable.
Right.
And Lady Gaga. I worked on 2 of her music videos. It was like Cherry Boom Boom, make it so bad.
So Cherry Boom Boom. So how do you go from, say, a Mary to a Gaga? I know easily as far as skill set, but how do you reference, what would be the difference in their hairstyles?
You want to know why? Because I come from a city, St. Louis, Missouri, that has 4 seasons. You have to be adaptable to change immediately. Okay. So that's, for me, it's just like an innate trait that I have.
But describe the styles that you gave them, because I know they're very different.
The styles that they gave was just like, they were going to the Grammys. So it was more like pinups and stuff like that. Lady Gaga.
I love pinups.
Yeah, me too. Lady Gaga, she's straight from out of the curb. It's like, you know, I want to rock a wig with a donkey ass sitting off of it.
So we saw Extreme Jury represented. I would say she's extreme hair.
She's very extreme everything, but then her lately she's been kind of taming it down.
Well,
and
I guess
like Nicki Minaj.
Right, because you got the Oscars.
I didn't work with Nicki Minaj, but I worked on her video Moment for Life.
Okay. I saw that was a very
that was beautiful, a beautiful video.
She had was that the one where she had on the Asian print like kimono?
Yeah, it was like, I wish that I could have this moment for life. It was more like a bridal thing.
Okay, yeah.
You know, she's another person that I didn't work directly with, but working on that and seeing her growth and seeing how she has transcended from this like a clown look, you know, who got her attention.
The
so
Barbie
look. Yeah, so now she's evolved to something like beautiful and sexy.
And she has a film coming out, The Barbershop, or that, you know, I think they got a lot of the old cast members and a lot of the new. I'm really excited actually to catch some of those looks. So how do you, some of those looks, to catch that film and just catch them on that to see how she did? Because this is really, I know she's done acting before, but I can't really name anything off the top of my head. This is something that I think will make a statement for her, like as far as her acting. I know it's not her debut, but I think
but acting was her first passion.
She said that.
Yeah, so that's why she has all those characters, and that once again goes to where frustration causes expression. Okay. She's had all these characters trapped inside of her, so she's getting a chance to benefit from them all now. And her music, you know, she's trying to tame down from that kind of delivery, but who knows, it may come back, but it got her to where she's at.
I think hairstyles are an extension of your personality too. So especially when you're like personally they can be, but I mean even when you're giving a character birth on stage or behind the scenes for you as a hair artist.
Like me as a hair artist, anything you see that I do is going to definitely illuminate who I am. Beautiful and sexy.
I like that.
And creative. And polished.
Exactly. Hey now. So we were getting into that. Hi, how are you? We got the guests rolling in. So one thing else I wanted to comment on the on the screen was that that was a bold move that you asked her, or a bold question I should say, when she discussed the original.
That's me.
I know, like that was bold because he was like, so you know that's not the original Queen Bee, because I think that
I didn't snap now.
Oh no, I did.
That's not the way I move.
No, that's how.
You.
That's me.
Why do every woman want to be gay now? A gay man.
I know what you mean.
It's like, stay a woman. Let them do that.
Is that okay?
What does that give you? What does that do for you?
That was an extension of my personality.
Okay.
When I said, I was like, oh, he said that. It was me saying, oh, he said that. So that's me saying that.
It's okay. Just joking.
You know what? What is not a part of my personality is I don't really give it to you in my waist. Like, I don't be like, yes.
Yeah.
That's not going to be me.
But you did great. You've been rehearsing it.
Because I do that all the
But
time.
you say I was bold, and I am.
Okay, that was a bold, because we said that the original Queen Bee is, and I think that Little Kim.
And I've worked with Little Kim.
And they frequently want to dismiss her Queen Bee status, but she was the original Queen Bee.
She's the Queen Bee. Beyonce is Queen Bey.
Bey? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Beyonce, you know, they call her Bey. So I would say Queen Bey and not Queen Bee. Okay. And I think they did a flip on that for Nicki Minaj to kind of shit on Lil' Kim a little bit.
With what? What was? She don't have the Queen Bee sign.
No, her saying the Queen Bee in her music. That's kind of
I
like
think that was a little rude of her, but I think that that's the bravado that rap has. And I think that as a female rapper, I don't know what it was politically correct-wise, but I think that that was her female bravado coming out in her rap. It doesn't make it right. I'm just saying, I think that's what
I'm kind of on the fence with that, because I love Little Kim, and I'm now growing to admire Nicki Minaj because of her story and where she come from. That part I like about it, but working personally with her attitude was like straight up atrocious. And I watched an interview that kind of made me,
I did. I don't like that.
I watched an interview that kind of made me like, she was like, okay, well, here I am, I'm a female rapper, and if Lil Wayne come in and he cuts people out, he's a boss. But if I come in and cuss people out, I'm a B-I-T-C-H. Well, you don't always have to do that, you know what I mean? But being in her shoes, I can't say. But being women in this business, you being a woman, do you feel like you have to take a male's perspective on things?
I don't, but I do feel like sometimes your opinion may not come out, so sometimes you have to be a little more aggressive about expressing yourself when you want something done a certain way, because people will always try to influence your decisions. So I think that when you really have an organic decision that needs to be executed, and someone that you're working with is not really executing your vision, then you have to be vocal. And it can come across differently to different people if they don't know your personality.
Yeah.
But and in reference, I have never...
Notorious about it.
Notoriously, I have heard, because we have not worked together, but I have heard from stylists.
I witnessed it firsthand.
Right.
And by me meeting her, and that was another thing too about when you have people that are fans of people, and they be like, oh my God, I love this person, I love this person. But when you get a chance to meet them, it could either go really good or really bad, because sometimes it may not live up to expectations. Because prior to that.
Okay, so speaking on that, I mean, you're a celebrity stylist, you work with tons of celebrities. Sometimes you're called on by that celebrity as their original, like their main hairstylist. That's the key to that. Or sometimes you might be called on the set to do someone that you're totally unfamiliar with. Keeping it professional, I know you're not going to voice your personal opinion, but how do you keep it professional in a sense when you have a personal perspective, but you're on set? For
the most part, I respond when people speak when spoken to. For me, I take the back seat in those situations. It's not about me; it's about them at that moment. Because I'm very vocal, I'm very opinionated, and I'm not for the faint at heart. So the most of the time, I just keep my mouth shut and just do my job. Don't ask me nothing, because at that point, you could sever your job like that.
Right,
because
you
sometimes
can.
people want yes men around them, and I'm not a yes man. If that's whack and I don't like it, don't ask me my opinion.
So on set, your thing would be like just. If asked, then you'll give, but if not asked, then
but then sometimes that leaves you where people think you don't have personality.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. What would be your...
Keep your mouth shut, and at the end of the day, only thing you have is your own amenity to protect. Even when you're working with celebrities, they're based off of energy and having new people around. A closed book, the book that's untangible to read is the one that's going to be the most sought after. Most books that I read are set up on the shelf. So keep that mystique to yourself. Give as little as you can. Right. You know, do your job, and your work will speak for itself. Exactly.
I think that's very true, because the end result is the main thing. That's what's trying to be.
Yes, it's doing their hair, but sometimes, you know, hairstylists most time hairstylists sometimes become like their confidant or their best friend or their go-to person to, you know, dump all of their stuff on. You know, and that's okay. Sometimes if you've built a relationship, for me, it's like it takes 5 years to become anything totally solid to me in my life. Anything other than that is just, okay, this is a moment, because there's no loyalty in this business.
How do you stay within the moment? I know you've had a lot of exciting moments that you could say, like, you know, like I remember being in the same room with Oprah, and I was like, oh my gosh, sometimes you want to just stay in the moment of what you're doing. So how do you stay in the moment with, you know,
for me,
with the key moments?
Being in the moment, for me, sometimes really happens like you said, it has to be like that boom to me, because like for me, I feel like everybody is a star. Everybody has a burning light that's on this earth. You know, so I'm not gonna give you all of that. Now, if I'm a fan of yours, that's one thing. But if you're just somebody who's blessed, just like I am, one thing I learned too: if you're in the room, you're in the room for a reason.
Correct.
You know, so always look at yourself as a person of high standards just as well. We're all equal, unless you're a fan of that person. You know, and there's not too many people I find fans, but if it would have been Oprah, I would have had an aha moment. I haven't really had that many aha moments in my career, other than when I first started my first music video with Snoop and Akon, I Wanna Love You. I was on the set, and I remember hitting a shot of Patron, and I went on set.
Splash and Cherry, which was very necessary.
Yes, it was very necessary, because I had just knocked out 13 girls by myself. My first music video.
Oh, that's a lot.
You know, and I went down on set, and next thing I know, it was a big bright light. It was like the background was painted white. It was like 100 lights that was surrounding. There was this beautiful girl named Sarah Rossetti who I had a crush on at the time. As I'm walking to the set, the drink must have hit me. I'm really not a drinker. So I walked on set, and I was like, oh my God, I'm either finna pass out, die, or I made it. And at that moment, I knew I made it. And then there's been a couple of moments where I'm like, oh my God, this is really happening. When I was in front of Whitney Houston, the weekend before she passed, that Thursday she died the next day, I could not believe I was standing right next to Whitney Houston talking to her.
Well, you must have been at the True nightclub.
Yes.
Okay.
Right by the W.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, Whitney Houston's in my presence. You know, that was like monumental. Being on the elevator next to Tyler Perry, that was another one of those moments.
So how did you take that in? Did you say something after he said?
No, I just waiting for the next time to see him again to have finished that conversation.
Oh my God.
You know, like they have Halle Berry, you have Tyler Perry, then now here's Anthony Cherry.
Oh, and that is your real name.
Government born.
So you know what? We're gonna wrap this up. We have a lot to talk about as far as but how do you? We saw like a lot of looks represented on the runway. We went from spring. I mean, we went to summer to spring, and then we're really getting into the fall fashion. But we did see swimsuits represented. Is there a thing when you're going from summer to winter hair? Because you said St. Louis represents all 4 seasons.
Yeah, most people pack on some weave.
Okay.
They're gonna put some weave in their hair, and they're gonna color their hair a little darker.
Okay. So so the tone gets different.
Yeah, the tones get different, and more hair gets added in.
Okay.
You know, another thing I've never understood, when people like don't wear white in the winter. Don't wear white in the winter. Who does that?
They have a winter white.
Yeah, but regardless, I want to wear white whenever I want to. Who made that rule? And you know what I learned? What I learned when I went to the ABFF Awards? Diane Carroll gave a speech. She said, in order to break the rules, you must know them first.
Exactly, and I think that's.
And I'm gonna wear white whenever I feel right to wear white.
I think that's key. I think that's all right with me. That's all right with me. So, do you have any tips for our audience as far as hair or where to follow you? Because you got some stuff under wraps that you got coming up, so it's a lot that you're going to be giving a little commentary on, isn't it?
Yeah. I've teamed up with Michelle Epps to do like a sit-down glam session.
Okay.
It's called The Commentary Hollywood, where we give our opinions, and our opinions do matter because we profess in what we do for decades.
Okay.
And anybody have a problem. I don't mind having a problem with anybody, but I will.
Oh,
you know, so if you have something you feel about what we've expressed our opinions on, that's totally up to you, because everybody has opinions, just like myself. But we're doing that, and then I'm also kind of transitioning. Like, I'm ready to get more into like television, whether it be acting, producing, talk show host,
behind the
or
scenes.
hosting. I've been behind the
so
scenes.
So you want to be in front of the scene?
I want to, yeah, because I have a voice.
Okay.
It's not about being a star or any of that, because sometimes.
And you have a voice sincerely that can.
Yeah, I can bust a tone or no. Yeah, that was the first thing I did when I got here was television and music. The her thing just came and got me just out of nowhere, and it's just like, but God said your gift will make room.
Okay.
You know, but you can follow me on Instagram at King of Hair.
Okay.
And on Facebook it's Anthony Cherry.
Okay.
And then the best trends that I would say for people for the fall and stuff like that, just make sure that you get your edges together.
Oh.
Quit snatching it as hard as it can. Quit having your hairstylist braid your hair all the way up. You know, if you do everything in moderation.
Okay.
That's what I say. That's key. You know, and I know sometimes girls don't like to compromise their look because they want hair extensions all the time. But sometimes you just got to take it out and rock your own stuff for like a month or two.
Hello.
Because you'll be dependent on it.
Right. I know. I think that we fall into this comfort zone as a woman. I'm speaking for myself. That I think you can kind of fall into a comfort zone, but I think it's good to break that comfort zone and just be expressive and change it up, switch it up.
And there's 365 days in a year. You want to be the same woman every day?
Right.
That's why men get bored.
Hint. Are you dropping hints and dimes?
I'm just dropping knowledge. Take it as it will.
Okay, well, we love that. Thank you, Mr. Anthony.
And thank you, Beauty and the Beat.
Beauty and the Beat. So we're going to, when we come back, if you want to join our conversation, we invite you to join the conversation online and use our official hashtag Beauty and the Beat Radio, or call us up and call in at 323-965-1600. We want to get everybody into that.
And that's the Beauty, and I'm the Beat.
Hey, Beauty and the Beat, though. Yeah, so we're going to get into a film trailer. And we have, when we come back, moving into, because you do a lot of movie here, right? Okay.
I have.
Okay. So we're going to get into a film called A Weekend with the Family, a new comedy. This stars, Marcus Houston, and it's executive produced by Chris Stokes. We have Chandrella Avery, Tammy Townsend, Wendy Raquel, Dorian Wilson, and Susan Wong. And we got them in the building today. Hello, y'all ready? So we're going to get into the trailer, and we're going to play that, and we're going to come back, and we're going to see and talk about this film.
Every girl's dream is to get married.
Travis is gonna propose.
How do you know?
I found the ring.
You nosy ass heifer. Every guy's dream is to have it all.
Love you.
That's 14 in a row, baby. On a roll.
Travis, you got a bright future ahead of you.
But when it comes to family...
Travis hasn't met my family yet. I brought you to meet my parents. My family is very traditional and very Korean.
Again. Oh, yeah.
This is my dad, John Clancy. Daddy, this is my boyfriend,
Travis
Travis.
Stanley.
You know him?
You need to tell me about yourself.
No. And you're not using my daughter for your own personal gain.
Why didn't you tell me you were applying to my dad's firm?
I wanted to get in on my own, like your father did in life, or my father.
I invited your family.
Pee-pee? Oh, that's short for piss. What y'all doing here? Oh, boy, that ain't no way to talk to your mama.
Why did you invite my family over here, too? I can't believe you. What the hell were you thinking?
Why do y'all have on those robes?
We saw y'all in y'all little fancy robes. Hell, I didn't know if it was gonna be a toga party or orgy.
Thank you, Napateria.
It's Nipateria. Lorraine James Stanker shit. I don't need an echo.
From Footage Films, an all-new comedy about family.
You gotta make him think that you would do anything that them heifers out in the streets would do, and then some.
So I have to do as much as them heifer?
Oh, you don't expect me to pounce on you and our home is being invaded.
You said you were going to hit that or tap that ass or something like that.
Marcus Houston, Karuchi Tran, Wendy Raquel Robinson, Clifton Powell, Dorian Wilson, Suzanne Wong. A Weekend with the Family.
Oh, son, I'm your daddy. Don't y'all knock? Hey, show them how the stinking shit men get there.
Go on, man.
Pop that thing, boy.
Don't
Pop.
be shy.
Watch this, girl.
Come on, show.
Pop that thing. Your mama know what it's all about. Pop that coochie, baby. Pop that coochie, baby.
In theaters, April 1st. Go to AMC.com and get your tickets and showtimes now.
Oh, that's so funny. So we're here laughing. That's A Weekend with the Family. Welcome, you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, so if you're just tuning in, you just caught the trailer of A Weekend with the Family, and I have Chandrella Avery and Suzanne Wong in the building with us. Hello. Hey, got to do a little dance.
Congratulations.
Thank you so
I
very
love the
much.
diversity.
Thank you.
That's what it's about.
Yes, it is. That was key for the film, in fact. Obviously, I'm here to support the film overall. I have a couple of scenes.
Okay.
I played Carucci's actual best friend in the film.
Okay.
But I'm also producing it with Marcus Houston and Christopher Stokes and Jerome.
Okay.
And but Suzanne is really the highlight because
Yes.
the film is about the family. And
Okay.
she and I have been with our special bond, and I'll say this and let her take the stage.
Okay.
Is that we've been doing stand-up comedy for, I guess, close to over 10 years.
Over 10 years.
Over
Okay.
10 years as friends.
Okay.
So when Chris and them wrote this script with a very diverse cast, and we really wanted to tackle the conversations between the Korean culture and Black, African Americans, I only had one person in my mind, and I literally called her at like midnight or something. I was like, I got this part. Like, this is for you. Please do it.
And that's what friends are for.
Yeah. So when you mentioned loyalty earlier,
Yes.
like I'm loyal, and we're loyalty here.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
there are
that's
people in
rare.
Hollywood that,
Very rare. There's a minority and there's a majority.
Absolutely.
And you guys are
both.
Both.
Minority and majority. So I'll let Suzanne.
Well,
because
and then she sends me the script, and my boyfriend and I read it out loud, and we are laughing out loud and getting choked up too, because the movie has some heart. And for me, the fact that a sort of madcap, wacky comedy can actually potentially do something for Korean Black relations.
What do they call it? The Far East meets the Deep South?
Yes.
Is that like,
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
that's where we're crossing that bridge.
And I don't know if you know, but Koreans, we're the funny people of Asia.
Okay.
Really?
We really are. I mean, think about it. Margaret Cho's Korean. Bobby Lee from Mad TV is Korean. Steve Park from In Living Color is Korean. He was in Fargo. John Cho from Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. They're all Korean.
And then Suzanne Wong.
Suzanne Wong.
Hey.
Who you're gonna see in this movie is just flawless.
Out of that
You can see a little clip. Like
I saw that. That was
but
definitely
even the
funny.
transition, even she mentioned it has heart. You know, it's obviously it's a comedy, but you will see a full circle moment when you come out and register what we're really saying.
Do you have to, because I know in comedy a lot of stuff is so impromptu. Of course there's some kind of mental rehearsal for you, but where did you go to channel that character? Because you going to tap that? Like, I mean, you had to go somewhere else. 'Cause I'm listening to you now. Like,
okay.
where did you channel?
So,
Who is she?
first of all,
Tell the truth, Suzanne. Tell
What
the
sign are
truth.
you first? What sign are you
I'm
first?
Libra.
Okay. And you are?
You are?
Okay, cool.
Libra Sun, Libra Moon, Sagittarius Rising.
What are you?
Leo.
Leo, okay,
Cusp,
July.
August 22nd. Leo
Okay,
Virgo.
you're right on the
I'm
cusp.
September
Virgo,
24th.
well, you know,
So I get a chance to choose.
Yeah.
Earth. I get a chance to choose.
Yes.
Our birthdays are 4 days apart.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
See, this was meant.
September 28th.
See?
I like Libras.
Yes.
Libras have great personalities.
Yes, we do. We're social. Are you a Libra too?
Very social.
Sharice is a Libra too.
Very social.
Yeah.
Most of the black celebrities in Hollywood are all Libras.
Really?
Yes, from Snoop,
Little Wayne.
Little Wayne,
Gabrielle
Maya,
Union.
Keisha Cole. Did I say Neo? Usher.
Really? All Leo? I mean, Libras?
Libras.
I did not know
But
that.
you know why? Listen, my
balance.
My mother decides to tell me about the night of my conception, and I'm thinking, no. And she goes, Susie, Dad and I New Year's Eve, and we drinking, and Dad say let's not use condom, and I'm like, But think about it, New Year's Eve. If you count 9 months later, it's the end of September.
So you were having
all
fun.
the Libras are New Year's Eve. They're
Conception. Thank you. Learn something new every
That's why
there's
there's so many Libras.
Wow.
It's a lot
And
of
they
shots and
fun.
toasting.
They are.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a lot of
Libras
shots.
are fun.
We had fun in the making.
We are.
Yeah.
So it sounded like you were channeling.
Well, to
a little
answer
bit of
your
mine.
question, so I created a stand-up comedy character that Chandrella knows about many years ago, named Sung-hee Park, who's fresh off the boat from Seoul, South Korea, and she's never done stand-up before. And she has a thick accent, and she's shaking, and she might cry, and she's terrible, and she tells racist jokes. She doesn't even know what she's doing because she's new to the country.
Right.
And so it's a satire making fun of stand-up comedy, making fun of racism and stereotypes and prejudice in America.
Okay.
And that sort of morphed itself into a character I played on NBC's Las Vegas.
Okay.
A crazy character named Polly, who's the spa manager, who has no filter, who's sort of outrageous and overly sexual and inappropriate. And when she comes into a room and she says something, everybody just sort of wants to leave the room. And so some of what I was channeling was a combination of my mom and women in Korean Christian church. When I was a little kid growing up, there would be these sort of battle axe, middle-aged Korean women.
Battle axe.
Right?
I've heard that.
And they would knock you over, right, if you were in their way.
Of course.
And they would insult you, but they would smile, so you were sort of confused. They would go, "Oh, you have a big pimple today.
Yes.
Oh, you're getting fat.
Yes.
Oh, I hear your boyfriend dumped you. Sorry about that. Okay, bye." And you're thinking, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
Or they would say, "You're wearing same outfit from last Sunday."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, like
Right, like it's like, could you just say that?
Dry cattiness.
Yes.
yes, but they're smiling,
Yes.
so they walk away and you feel
Reversal
like
It's like in the
insult.
South where they say,
Reversal
bless your
insults.
house.
Yeah.
Bless your heart.
That's
Yeah,
right.
bless your heart.
Okay.
But that's not what they really mean.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think that this character is sort of an amalgam
Wow.
of my mother and women from Korean Christian Church and the character that I created and my character on Las Vegas.
And just Suzanne really being Suzanne talented.
Really?
And I think that there's an underestimation of people that, you know, have these type of character type of driven careers, you know. My career is not necessarily as much as character driven like hers, but we would do stand up together called Pretty Funny Women.
Okay.
And so my shtick was always my family, you know, growing up I'm from South Central, being the eldest of 10. My parents were foster parents to 200 plus children. So
wow.
yeah, they were busy.
So there's a lot of personalities in your household. Mhm.
What?
A lot of
So it's
personalities.
not a problem. So characters was within me already growing
Right.
up. You know what I'm saying? Not having any racial issues. You know, all walks of life lived in our home growing up. And so for me, you know, even being the best friend to Karuchi on there, you know, she's Korean she's
supposed to be Korean and black.
And Korean
She's
and
supposed
black.
to be.
Yeah.
Supposed to be.
She's
That was the
Blasian.
operative word.
Okay.
Supposed to be. And then, you know, for her to still be a best friend to a black woman. You know?
Right.
So again, we also wanted to bring about the conversion of women coming together, you know, from the different walks of life and
Right.
culture. And so Suzanne is just very talented that she's been able to, even though these are characters, but her natural talent is incredibly unmatched. And I'm saying that because I recognize that in myself on a lot of ways. You know, sometimes people say, oh, you know, no one can be, well, you should know no one can be you if you're that good.
Right.
Not being arrogant is the fact. And everybody, you do you, like you said earlier, you know, everyone has their own thing inside of them that makes them shine, you know. But Suzanne is just very individualized, you know, and it's so key. And when you see the film, it's just like a sneak peek of what, you know, we're being able to be blessed with.
I was
to be
actually
honest.
able to catch a few scenes from it, and I was just like, "Oh my God, it's so funny." So how do you?
It's funny.
It's funny. How do you?
It was hard for us to keep a straight
It really
face
was.
a lot.
And how was it working with Marcus Houston?
It was great. He was constantly.
I'm glad to see him coming back to doing something different. Yeah,
And
he looks
was
great.
constantly teasing
you.
Karuchi in between takes, going, "I got bars, man, I got bars," and he keeps rapping, and she goes, "Stop it!"
Yeah, they were silly. They were very,
They
very
were silly together.
Very,
Can
very
he
silly.
rap?
No.
Oh, okay.
But he would do
Silly.
it on set.
Okay, yeah. I can see
You know,
that.
on set when you're acting and playing pretend, you think you could do anything.
You can.
I mean, I think I can sing, but then there it is.
And then Wendy Raquel, she's a
Wendy and
Leo.
Clifton
She's
together,
like
She's a Leo, yeah.
she's
forget it.
everything.
Yes,
And she's
but the two of them together though was magic.
I mean,
So do you?
Magic.
so amazing.
Do you have that cousin or uncle or family member when you go to a picnic that is kind of reminding you of a Clifton Powell? Like,
Of course.
did you were one of the producers, but I know as like looking at that character, you're like, I know someone like that.
Yeah, like
Right.
my uncle, you know,
Right,
Sonny and some. Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
okay.
I mean, actually, every character in the film, I
It's
can see. Yeah, someone that I mean, I have a very
identify with,
vast.
yes.
Yeah, of course, family. But you know, Clifton Powell. You know, when you're doing as producers, Marcus and Chris and Jerome and I, we really wanted to make sure that we garnered people that one we knew, two we knew could deliver. You know, three would make it such that Marcus and I could still produce, but at the same time still jumping in as talent.
Right,
You know, because you got to give that zhuzh if you
Right.
have the skill. You know.
Right.
But I was more on the making sure this was a family-oriented film of
Right.
a blending of two cultures.
So we didn't go to. What's the rating? Is this PG-13 or what?
It would be PG-13.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I mean, there's moments when it could have been an R.
Right.
And when you say it's a comedy, right?
It is a comedy.
And then when you say it's heart, explain that to me because I kind of like that. You just dropped some knowledge on me that I'll probably use the rest of my life.
Oh.
Well, I think that
Without
part of
giving it
what's-
away.
Part of what's beautiful about the film is that it's sort of like in West Side Story. It's sort of like the Hatfields and the McCoys, the Cowboys and the Indians. There's this inherent animosity that's underneath everything. But these two people are in love. My daughter their son, right?
And Karuchi's your daughter.
Karuchi's my daughter, right? And Travis is Wendy, and Clifton, the Stankershettes.
The Stankershettes.
How did you get that name? I know it's a story.
There is a story behind it. It's Chris Stokes.
Okay.
Chris Stokes came.
Stankershettes.
Yes, Stankershettes.
Okay.
Stankershettes.
Shets.
And then Pissy Pot was a nickname in there.
Yeah, Piss Pot.
Piss
Yeah,
Pot was his
Piss-
nickname
yeah, the Piss
because
Pot.
of a story from his childhood.
Which-
But the fact that we end up, having a moment where we realize that these two people are in love, and that's more important than any petty cultural difference or misunderstanding.
Right. Dope.
And it really, there's a moment that. There's a scene at a dinner table where there's a pivotal moment, and that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Where the
But
heart
it's
comes into
beautiful,
play.
Yeah.
Got it, without giving it away.
And the one thing about us, just even in light of everything that's happening in Brussels and all these terrorist attacks, things that are really plaguing our people, we're all still one people in God's eye.
Flesh.
And so flesh is just, people operate in such hateful spirits that, and for us, even in all of our storytelling, we've done, Marcus and Chris and I have done 3. We did one called Will to Love that went straight on TV1, and then this was our second one that we took a stab at, and then we have a third one
coming up. You a busy woman.
Yeah. God is really good. You know what? Because when you mentioned something about Marcus coming back. Marcus and I did a television show in 2005 and 6 called Cuts. That was the spinoff of 101, and my character Candy I played 5 seasons between 101 and Cuts.
Got it.
So Marcus and I have been friends for 10 years. We've always kept in contact, and we just figured, why not create an opportunity for other people to get opportunities and use our whatever the opportunities, the blessings that God has provided us to tell stories.
That's when you're successful. That's what success means.
Why are we waiting on calls all the time?
Right.
And don't get me wrong, my career's been successful with or without that, but I think it's something extra special when I can call up my friend.
Yeah.
Right.
And be like, you know what, y'all haven't seen this type of talent. Like really, and we all are doing
Also,
this.
you have to understand, we used to do stand-up together, and then we sort of lost touch, and I'm so grateful for social media to reconnect us, but I remember going to the movie theater, seeing Napoleon Dynamite, and sitting in the theater going, oh my God! And all the people because it's Chandrell up there, and all the people in the theater are like, be quiet.
But you're championing your friend.
Yes.
You're happy.
By the way, no one could do La Fonda the way
thank
this
you.
person, there's nobody else.
Thank you.
There's
Thank
only,
you.
There's only Chandrell.
Now, I want to tap a little bit about what you said about new talent and stuff,
Yes.
and being a producer and reaching out to friends. Did you attend the ABFF Awards?
We did not. We were shooting.
Well, the whole thing about the spirit that covered it, that was about all of these people who were not given a chance. And now that we see the same people recycled over and over and over and over again, I really believe whenever my position comes, and just to plant it in your head, it was about helping people that deserves a chance.
Absolutely.
And having new faces, to give them a chance just as well.
Absolutely, and I think we missed the marker. You have to keep in mind too, from a business standpoint, just on the side, most of these executives and networks and studio heads are looking to make money. Right. They have to make money. If they don't earn an income, then we can't continue to even play in the platform.
Right.
So when you understand the business acronym of what's happening, then this person is on now. Like, we need to milk that situation.
Right.
We get it, right?
But what about before that person didn't get on?
I totally agree with you. And that's the disconnect.
Right.
So for Marcus and Chris and I, we're like, okay, well, what can we do for the people? Because we're supremely loyal, like real loyal. And it's not like a fraud. Like, it's real talk. Like, we're sisters, we're family, yeah? Right. How can, Drells, you take this group of people, this character, who do you have? And it's really calling up your friends.
Right.
Hey, we got, it's independent, not low budget, it's high quality. You know what I'm saying? The pay might be a little low, but the quality is going to be high tech. You can see, boom, what you get. Right. And we're going to get you guys into the theaters. Like, this is us just hustling as independents. With no major studio behind us. We are doing this on our own, just believing in our friends.
Because you're experienced.
Absolutely.
And you know what it takes, and you've been there.
And it's, and it's terrible when we are disenfranchised, when we know we're as good as anybody else that you keep repetitively putting over and over again. But then why don't we just do it for ourselves, so when people take a look-see at us, then they'll know, okay, boom, this particular company, Footage Film, says they're doing something different. And we're going to bring in all types of people that you never thought you saw. But when you see them master, like, where that person been at? Everybody deserves an opportunity, and I'm really
even a Korean.
I'm
an honorary black person.
She got her get on this.
Susan, I have a question for you. Just speaking on that, like, have you ever had an uncomfortable moment? Because you mentioned your boyfriend. Have you ever had an uncomfortable moment introducing, say, friends and family to like your parents? Because you.
Oh, because well, my parents are actually incredibly hip and cool.
Right.
Even though they're traditional in certain ways, they've never even suggested that I better date a Korean guy, which is pretty amazing. It's very open-minded of them. And when I have 2 Ivy League degrees, and when I told them that I was not going to go into any sort of business except for show business. I think for the first few weeks they were thinking, my mom said, "You going to pretend for a living?" But it's going to go great, Mom. And then as soon as it started to go well, I think they were just nervous that they were going to have to support me financially for the rest of my life. But I started to get successful really quickly, and then they're my biggest fans. They will fly across the country and come see me do anything, stand-up comedy, anything.
Yeah, they will.
Truly, yeah.
Yeah.
So
which helps too in this
I'm
business.
really blessed.
Yeah, very blessed. I mean, so am I. I have the same family support.
Because that was another thing I was going to touch on, because I just had a conversation with one of my friends. I believe that the people who still have their mothers and grandmothers in their lives has a more sense of stability that keeps that natural realness about themselves. Because I find a lot of people in Hollywood, once they move here, their family becomes obsolete. And those are the people I've seen become a little bit distorted, because you need guidance. Your mom is always going to tell you right or wrong, or just having that support system. So shouts out to you guys for doing that.
Well, I'm blessed. I'm a rare person in Hollywood who has parents who are still alive, still married to each other, still in love with each other. But every day of my childhood, they kissed me and hugged me and told me that they love me and that I'm wonderful and I can accomplish anything that I want to in the world. And so I believe them, because kids believe what's told. And so my life, my success is just a continuation of the legacy and the core belief they instilled in me that anything is possible. In fact, Chandrella knows this, I'm a stage 4 breast cancer survivor and thriver. 5 years ago, I was given 6 months to live, and I reversed it miraculously.
Yes, she did.
And that is because I was taught that anything is possible. So I did not take that diagnosis as a death sentence. I took it as, let's roll up our sleeves and create some miracles.
Yes.
So that's what happened.
You know what's crazy?
Yeah, right?
This is a real heart moment right now, because I'm sitting here right now, and I just got a text because I just put on Instagram that I'm here recording this. My cousin is dying right now from stage 4 cancer in St. Louis, and they've given him like 24 hours to live. And my cousin just texted me and was like, "Why are you not here in St. Louis right now while your cousin still has breath in his body?" So this is just crazy. And it's like, I'm just trying to make my way. You don't know what I'm dealing with. You don't know what I'm going through. Come get me if that's the case. If it was that easy, I would be there, So it's just like, it's crazy. And thank God that he blessed you. And that's something I'm dealing with as we speak.
And by the
Literally.
way,
Well, we're believing Christ for his victory to be how his will be. And not to cut you off, Suzanne, keep your thought. Oftentimes we get wrapped up in what our desires are, but it's really ultimately the will of God.
Yes. Right.
And his will be done regardless of what we would like. Every one of us have disappointments, and people come and go. And for her, this is the will of God, because for whatever he has her to do, her next purpose has to still be fulfilled. And whatever your cousin's purpose was, or is, God will determine that along the way. So I believe that Christ already has that soul in his bosom.
Right, and don't convict me about why.
And no one should be convicting you. You know what that is? That's just anger and sadness of the circumstance.
Yeah, I get
so
it.
I want you to just, be at a place where you have more compassion and
I'm glad my
understanding.
phone when my battery went out, because I was ready to
And it's a blessing indeed. Well, because then now you know why? Because now you have the moment, not to be heavy, but I'm just saying, ultimately, you have to exalt yourself in the mindset of more compassion, understanding of what they might be. It's just anger, and the enemy is very, very busy.
Fear.
And fear. That's all that is. Not against you, against the whole. Because even if you was there, it wasn't like you're gonna be able to say, okay, right.
It's a scary situation for both sides.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, and I also, have you heard the expression that God exists in the pause between when you hear something and when you respond?
Yes.
Right? Sometimes you just
Say
need a
that again?
moment. God exists in the pause between when something happens and when you respond. Because sometimes if you react really quickly, what's coming out is not
God.
Is not divinity. It's let yourself take a breath.
Thank you.
And pause and hear something wiser and coming from a higher place before you respond. And so I'm glad that your phone battery died.
Was God. This is the pause.
That was the pause. That was the pause when this is the God.
And I honestly think it should be illegal for a doctor to tell you exactly how much longer you have to live, because you don't know my mind, my body, and my spirit and my purpose on the planet.
And my God that works in my life. Exactly.
Right.
I rebuke
it. You just don't know.
You don't have to accept it.
And miracles can occur anywhere, anytime.
At any time. God is like, that.
If you expect them and you embrace them, I mean, that's basically what happened to me. I
It's a mindset.
I had kept it a secret. In Korean culture, it's considered low class and disgusting to share your dirty laundry in public and admit that you have a problem. You're supposed to put a plastic smile on everything. So I was keeping it as a toxic secret. As soon as I came out of the cancer closet, I got to tell you, people, my heart cracked open, and my friends and family and fans rushed in and loved me back to life.
'Cause love is the greatest
Because we are
emotion.
only as sick as our secrets.
That's
So
right.
stop keeping stuff a secret.
That's
Start
right.
talking about what's really going on with you and let people love you back to life.
Yes,
Because that's what
amen.
saved me.
I know.
You have fed my nourishment.
Right? Yeah, amen.
Okay.
That's why she's in the movie. And that's the
You're only
peak
sick-
of the
you're
emotion.
only-
Okay, so that's the happy and the heart.
Yeah,
once
that's
again.
Well, because we can have both. We should have both, right? If we let, honestly, the spirit of however you deal with your higher power. You know, for me, God has to work through me. He has to. You have to pause. It says, slow to anger and quick to resolve. So the slow to anger is how we look at it. So before you get to that point where the pause is, it's slowing down because
True. And
FYI,
FYI,
slow to anger, quick to resolve.
Every woman that I know who has or had breast cancer, because the breasts are about nurturing and nourishing, do not take care of themselves. They have spent their whole lives saving and fixing and loving and rescuing and helping everyone, but not themselves. And so that included me. So as soon as I got breast cancer and it went to stage 4, I realized I had my priorities upside down. I needed to take better care of myself. Because what good am I to anybody else if I'm not loving myself, right? So I was not sleeping enough. I was eating garbage. I was not drinking water. I was not meditating. I was not slowing down and staying still and taking life as a balance. And so this really slammed me to the ground. And what happened was, as soon as I came out of the cancer closet and I threw pride and ego out the window and got really humble and vulnerable and said, I need help. Because at a certain point, I had 2 breast surgeries, back surgery, hip replacement surgery, radiation, a certain form of oral chemo, and I couldn't even move. I was in bed for 3 months. My friends and family came over. People brought food. They walked my dog. They scrubbed my floor. They sang me songs and told me
That's
jokes.
because all
and
the
made
love
me
that you had
laugh.
gave out, it was mercy, it's
It was coming
sufficient.
back.
But if she didn't open up, she wouldn't have been able to receive that.
And I went
'Cause they wouldn't know.
$500,000 into debt, and people started to donate money through my website. And I got to feel like, in It's a Wonderful Life at the end, James Stewart has everybody from the town comes and is bringing money to help. And I just got to feel like I was truly loved back to life. My girlfriend Priscilla, there was a point where I couldn't bend forward. She carried me into the bathroom and shaved my legs because I couldn't do it myself. And to see her kneeling down, just really with all the care and love in her heart, shaving my legs because I couldn't do it myself. It's just one of the most incredibly beautiful acts of love I've ever gotten to experience. You know what I mean? And so, when your friend Chandrella calls you after knowing her for a decade and says, I have this great part in a movie for you, and you just feel like, what a beautiful gift that not only have I reclaimed my health, but now I'm starting to reclaim my career.
Yes. Aww. And then speaking about career, the reason I love working on movies, and the reason why I love working on movies is because of the continuity and the consistency of it. You know exactly what you're going to do every single day, and you're going to do the same exact hairstyles. And most of the time doing hair on movie sets is very simple. They want everyday, regular, hairstyles.
So we have a lot to look forward to in this weekend with the family.
Yes,
I mean,
we do.
you've overcome so much, but you gave so much into this film. Your character is awesome. Your producing, your acting is awesome. We got to see that. It's funny.
It's
You
funny
know,
and it has heart.
It has fun. It's funny. That's what we're gonna keep. That it's happy.
Yes.
It's funny, and it has heart.
Yeah.
So
I
we're
like
gonna
that.
check out AMC. And how can they follow more from you individually as well as with the film?
Well, I'm on Facebook. It's Suzanne, Suzanne. Huang is Whang. You can find me on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. I have a website, SuzanneHuang.com.
Okay.
And we've got our trailer is on iTunes, on the AMC website.
Yeah, everything is there. And for me, you can find me on Twitter. It's at Chandrella, Shondrella. And on Instagram and Facebook, it's Chandrella Avery. Both
Okay.
names,
Gotcha.
yes.
Okay.
And everything else is out there. I think you guys should all come out and support it.
Of
We're
course.
actually doing a
April
competition
1st.
right now too. We're doing
What is it?
a competition each because we're in a limited release. So we're in like 35 theaters all throughout 5 different. I think it's Atlanta, DC, New York. I want to say I don't want to
LA,
Houston. And Houston. Yeah,
Okay.
Houston.
So where Marcus and Carucci are doing giveaway tickets.
Okay.
Yeah, and
So we're gonna have to put that on Beauty and the Beat
in
Radio?
Boston. Yes, in Boston.
Boston.
No, yeah, right.
And
it's in
Chicago.
Boston. In Chicago.
There's
right.
actually more than 7
Oh yeah, well
cities
maybe
now.
so. Okay. Because you know what? Every day as we're leading up to the
It grows.
because of the hype that we've been getting. So
Right.
you know, AMC keep adding more. Shout out to AMC. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh my God. Thank you. This is a miracle that they have this type of program for minority films to just come in and really tell these great stories. And you know, you will see. You can go to our website. Well, I guess our Instagram page, and you'll be able to see Marcus and Carucci doing their pass-offs, and it'll be free tickets.
Get free tickets.
AMC.com
Yes.
and
A Weekend with the Family.
.com.
Yes.
Okay, so that's where you go to.
Yes.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys.
Thank you. Having us.
I see the 10 years. I see the friendship. Okay.
You know, we're silly girls.
Comedy, the funny chicks of comedy. Is that what you were saying?
Well, we used to do
Pretty funny women.
Pretty funny women. Okay, yeah, that's funny.
But we're still like, we're grown up. I was on a show called Girls Behaving Badly, as you know before. And listen, we were just grown up, but we were really girls.
Right.
And so I saw Lorraine Toussaint last night. I hosted this thing for
Love her.
Listen, and I like went over to this thing, and I toppled her, and she was like, "You are the silliest thing I've ever met." I said,
Right.
And then I got back up. So, good evening, everyone. Welcome back.
professional.
Right, a professional,
Okay.
right? So, all is good stuff. I know we ran over.
Yeah, so check out A Weekend with the Family, okay? Check out A Weekend with the Family on April 1st with these lovely ladies and everybody else in the cast. Check it out on Instagram. Check out Mr. Anthony Cherry at A King of Hair and Anthony Cherry. Beauty and the Beat Radio. We appreciate you for tuning in, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
She's the beauty.